Oh, hey everyone. I'm back to read another Choose Your Own Adventure, like I normally do on Tuesdays. This one is Smoke Jumper by R.A. Montgomery, and it's Choose Your Own Adventure number 111. Uh, Here's a better look at the front cover. And I'll read the back cover like I normally do. You're the star. 12 exciting endings. Can you fight a blazing forest fire without getting trapped in the flames? You are about to compete. You are about to complete your training as a smoke jumper, one of an elite group of firefighters patrolling the mountainous region of the Pacific Northwest. Several small fires have broken out in the area, and volunteers are needed to go on patrol. You want to volunteer, but you know that if you do, you will miss your final test and delay your certification until the jump can be rescheduled. But lives may be in danger. You have to decide quickly. What will you do? I don't know if Valerie will be able to comment. I never figured out why she couldn't last time, or the previous time, so hopefully she can this time. If you decide to volunteer for the mission, turn to page 12. If you decide to finish your training, turn to page 17. But be careful. Mountain fires are dangerous and unpredictable. You could be caught in the devastating path of the fire, unable to escape. Or you could thwart the plans of a band of environmental terrorists and become a hero. What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? Only you can find out. And the best part is that you can keep reading and rereading till you've had not one, but many incredibly daring experiences. Yeah, I don't know why she hasn't been able to comment. I mean, there's definitely been some changes to, there's been some kind of an update to, going live on Facebook. Every time I go live now, it asks me if I want to go live with a friend. And then actually this time, just before I started, as I didn't want to go live with a friend, which basically it puts that person on camera, like they're on camera too on the screen, and then like this time they asked me like, "Are you sure you don't want to go live? You don't want to have a friend join you?" And I was like, "No, I'm sure." So something's going on. I was even thinking of like maybe trying to do this on Twitch instead, but then that like opens it to like a much bigger audience. Well, not that a bigger audience would actually show up, but it opens it to a bigger audience. Yes, so fire is dangerous. And yes, I also hope that we get trapped in the flames. That would be pretty cool. Hope we just get burned to a crisp. Or maybe a tree will fall on us. That's possible. Please do not put me on camera. No, I'm not going to put anyone on camera. Don't worry. And kids love Choose Your Own Adventures, and teachers love them too, as usual. And here we are. We're a smoke jumper. Well, we're about to become a smoke jumper. And if I didn't already mention this before, it's written by R.A. Montgomery, and it's illustrated by Leslie Morrill. And this was originally published March 1991. Warning, do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have as a smoke jumper, fighting fires in the Pacific Northwest. From time to time, as you read along, you'll be asked to make a choice. Your choice may lead to success or disaster. The adventures you have are the results of your choices. You are responsible because you choose. After you make a choice, follow the instructions to see what happens to you next. Think carefully before you make a decision. Becoming one of an elite group of firefighters can be fun, but it can also be dangerous. Even if you do make it through the training program and parachute into a forest fire, you may not be able to extinguish the flames in time. Always representing in the blurbs. That's right. Put a bird on it. Is this burning an eternal flame? Okay. Alright, so here we are. You've been lying awake for almost an hour when the early morning sun falls upon your tent, flooding it with a golden light. Reaching up, you pull the tent flaps aside, letting in the cool morning air. You take a deep breath, the smell of pine filling your lungs. Then you tug the zipper on your sleeping bag, running it halfway down the bag. With as much energy and enthusiasm as you can muster at this hour of the morning, you welcome the new day that lies ahead. Rise and shine, you say. Rise and... A voice from the tent next to yours interrupts you. You sound like one of those TV evangelists. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, you really know how to start the day, right, Bill? Thank you. Thank you very much, you reply. The tent is dome-shaped, and there is just enough room for you to stand up inside it, but not quite. You climb out of your down-filled sleeping bag and manage to pull on your clothes, shorts, t-shirt, and a light shirt. Then you step out into the brilliant dawn, the sun cresting the range of mountains to the north. Some of them still have snow hiding in the shadowy flanks, and once again you are taken aback by the beauty of the scene. If only you could relax and enjoy yourself. Scheduled today is your first actual training jump. The two of you have enrolled in a special jump unit assigned to combat forest fires in the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. Brilliant Dawn is your sister? Oh wow, I actually see Valerie's comment. Don't know, absolutely nothing changed, but okay. Do you really think we'll jump today? Bill asks. I don't know, you say. Weather looks good. We're ready, and so are Patty, Joe, and Michael. I'd say it's a go. Just hearing your own words once again gives you a shiver of excitement tinged with real fear. Up until now, everything has been theory and training, but now it's time to take the next step. On your next flight, you will jump out of the plane and really parachute. The weeks of tough physical work and practice, as well as practical things like the proper packing of your chute, have centered your thinking on the life of a smoke jumper. You are ready and eager, but you are also scared. Worse almost than the real fear of the first jump is the fear that you might freeze, that your friends will see you as a coward. After 1 month of training, now comes the real test. Fighting fires comes later, maybe, assuming you pass. You try your best not to be too doubtful and focus on the importance of your newly acquired skills. We'd better jump. I'm getting tired of this waiting, Bill says, bringing you back to reality. The conversation ends, and you busy yourself with the details of cleaning up the tent and the campsite. The others are just emerging from their tents, and their chatter is very similar to Bill's and yours. I'm surrounded by cats. The next leap will be the leap home. We are really conceited if our own voice gets us excited. I'm so excited by the sound of my own voice. All right. Breakfast, as usual, is mammoth. What? We're actually eating mammoth? No, it's just a lot of food. Okay. We're eating mammoth this morning somehow. We found a woolly mammoth. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, toast, cereal, juice, and tea. The cook, a skinny guy named Thomas, loves to see everybody eat. You're only too happy to comply. Dig in, Thomas says. What's with all of you, anyway? You eat like birds. You're going to be eating smoke soon, so you'd better have some real food now while you can. You're tempted to tell him that birds actually eat more food each day than humans do in proportion to their body weight, but you resist the temptation. He's really very nice, and he's always encouraging everyone, downplaying the dangers and the difficulties. The other tables are empty once again. The veteran jumpers are out on a fire on a fork of Bear Creek, some 80 miles from camp. They've been gone for 3 days, and the reports are that they're having trouble. Several times during the last few days, you've thought that you smelled smoke in the air. When you asked Thomas, he nodded and said that you were probably right. See them clouds? Those dark, smudgy ones? He asked. Well, more than likely that's smoke from the fire.
coming from the river down in one of these steep valleys. Some say it was lit."
"What do you mean?" you ask, knowing his answer.
"Just that. Someone set the fire. Happens. And when it does, it's nasty."
"But why? Why would someone do something like that?" It's tough to find, like, it was so lit. I was gonna make that joke. It's so. What do you mean it was lit?
I mean, it was, like, really cool.
Oh, you can see the vein pulsating on my wrist? Oh, no. Sorry if I'm freaking anybody out by the vein that's pulsing on my wrist.
What? Why's not important. You just have to deal with them. Get them out. When they're burning, Thomas says. Most fires are caused by nature. You know, lightning strikes and does its work. And when it's dry like this summer, we're in for some hot times.
As you finish your breakfast, Henry Broliard arrives in his 4x4 pickup, a cloud of road dust kicked up behind him. Henry is in charge of the summer program. Although he is tough, he is fair and truly interested in his job and the welfare of all his jumpers. At 46, he is trim and athletic. He stands over 6 feet, has a beard, salt and pepper hair, and is rugged looking and powerful. Okay. He's also very strong. Turn to page 14. Now we get it. He's a tough dude. Yeah, 40. Are you 46, Rob? I am 48, almost 49. I am not trim and athletic. He sounds like the man on the Brawny label. Jumping down from the truck, Henry strides across the open ground, grinning and yet looking determined at the same time.
"Okay, gather round, everybody. This is what you've all been waiting for. It's also what you've been dreading," he says, chuckling.
There was a sprinkle of nervous laughter. "But not from you."
"Today at 0900 hours, you will make your first jump. As you know, you need 10 jumps to qualify as a smoke jumper."
A whoop of excitement goes up, and there was a lot of backslapping and poking in the ribs from the group of soon-to-be jumpers such as yourself.
"Quiet down. Have your gear ready and meet me at the airfield, ready to go in 10 minutes.
3 hours later, you are climbing with the others up an aluminum ladder into the DC-3 transport plane that is used as a jump ship. As you climb aboard, the starboard engine is already ticking over, and the prop wash gives everyone a good fanning. It takes a few seconds for your eyes to adjust to the dark interior of the plane. Inside, the 10 of you, plus Broliard and the jump master called Porky, take your seats. Porky checks with the ground crew, then closes the door. Nobody is talking. They all are either staring at the floor or double-checking their gear. I got like something in my eye too. All right. So, time for Porky's revenge. How loose is your goose? Our goose is totally loose. How funky is your chicken? Come on, Porky. I take it he's not athletic and trim. Jumpmaster Flex was my DJ name. All right, we are suiting up, getting into the plane. All right. That's how you fight forest fires. Turn to page 59. The plane rolls down the dirt runway and slowly lifts off, climbing into the clear morning air. You are locked deep in thought, fighting fear, and dealing with the mounting excitement inside you. 20 minutes later, the plane has reached the proper altitude. It begins to circle in slow arcs, and you look... Ah, it's on my eye. You look out of the small rectangular window at the ground below. Everything looks so small when you are almost 3,000 feet above it. Trees, streams, cars, buildings. The mountains rise all around you to the north and west. If only you could just enjoy the view, not have to worry about jumping. Suddenly a voice cuts through your reverie. It comes from a speaker mounted on the bulkhead separating the cargo hold from the pilot's cabin and repeats, "Approaching drop zone." A red light winks on and off above the cargo door, through which you will soon step. Below the red light is a darkened green light. Yours are not the only eyes that are glued to these lights, waiting for your signal to jump. Broliard stands up. He does some last-minute adjustment to his equipment, tugging here and there on the harness and the webbing. Everybody else does the same. The first jump is to be a static line jump, he tells you. When you step out of the plane, all you have to worry about is the position of your body. The chute automatically opens when the ripcord attached to the line in the plane is pulled taut. I don't know why, but it's like... What's that? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I touched some hot peppers or something out there. I don't know. All right, turn to page 8. Try to turn to page 8. Do you have to name everything we see? I think so. Maybe it's the smoke in my eyes. Smoke gets in your eyes. Okay.
Okay, piece of cake. All of you will do fine, no problem, says Broliard. But his attempt to calm you down doesn't really work. Your stomach feels like it's no longer a part of your body. You can almost hear your heart beating. Suddenly, you flash back to the time when your dad took you to an amusement park and you went on a roller coaster called the Ride of Death. For the whole week before you left, all your little sister could do was talk about that ride. By the time you got there, you were so terrified, all you could think of was getting back home safe and sound. The Ride of Death was pretty traumatic, and from that day on, you've always hated amusement parks. You were reminded of that day, and something inside you, a premonition perhaps, tells you not to jump. It's only natural to have second thoughts, you realize, but right now, it doesn't look like you can go through with it.
Ride of Death, great memories. Yeah, he does suck at reassuring. Okay. If you decide to abort the jump, turn to page 98. If you decide to go ahead with the jump, turn to page 64. No, we're Rob says abort the jump. Oh, hi, Beth. Oh, Rob says abort the jump. Valerie says we have to jump. Anyone else think we should either abort the jump or go ahead with the jump? Jump. Go ahead, jump. Jump. Oh, that's another one. Jump for my love. Jump in. Na 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 na. Jump. Jump. Na. We need to sit in our cowardice. Rob says we need to sit in our cowardice. Now, how will we catch on fire if we... That's true. Maybe as we jump out of the plane, a gust of wind will, cause us to get sucked into the engine. Does that happen? No, probably not. All right. I think we will jump. We got to jump. Sorry, Rob. Don't worry. If something goes wrong, I'm sure Porky will help us. Porky is one of the people on the plane. They didn't explain why his name was Porky, but... All right, let's get lit. Let's get lit, fam. You manage to set aside your fears as best you can and decide to go through with the jump after all. 10 seconds to drop, the pilot announces. The red light then blinks off and the green light comes on. Everybody hooked up? Porky asks. Everybody nods, checking to see that they are hooked up to the static line. You see Bill, and he gives you the thumbs up signal. He looks calm, and you envy him, although he's probably feeling the same as, if not worse than, you are. Let's go! Broliard shouts. The first person steps out without hesitation, then the second, and then the third. But the fourth person hesitates, his fingers gripping the side of the fuselage. Broliard unhooks him from the static line, and he steps aside as the rest of you continue with the jump. I'm sure the nickname Porky had nothing to do with insensitive stereotypes. Oh, no. Yeah, people did jump a lot in the 80s, Rachel. Pretty sure. Yeah, with all those the songs about jumping. Jump. He doesn't want to be the fourth man. Well, the number 4 is unlucky in Japan, right? So maybe he's Japanese. He's like, oh no, I don't want to be the 4th person. There's like an anime, I think one of the JoJo animes where this guy has a revolver and he can't shoot his gun if he only has 4 bullets in it because like 4 is an unlucky number. Page 70. Porky, a rotund wheezing dullard, hands you a map. He waddles over to you. All right, page 70. It's your turn, and suddenly you find yourself falling. Your chute opens with a snap and fills with air, straining against your shoulders. You hang in the air, gently falling towards the beautiful world below. The parafoil supports you. From bunched up, multicolored nylon, it is swelled into a ribbed, rectangular shape that functions similarly to the wing of a plane. It is very different from the old round parachutes. These can be directed with much greater precision, and the landing, if done right, can be gentle enough for you to hit the earth without much shock to your feet. Your spirits are rising. You've done it! Looking all around, you see the red and yellow parafoils of the others. A feeling of exhilaration and well-being overcomes you. But you remember what Porky and Brogliard have drummed into your head. Be awake! Concentrate! You're not sightseeing! Maintaining your excitement, you focus your attention on the wind and the rapidly approaching ground. Page 5. Did they waste the opportunity? Yeah, they wasted the opportunity. They didn't even talk about Porky's body at all. I'm shocked. I mean, they talked about Brogliard being like ripped and athletic and strong and tough. Porky and Brogliard were the last ones out of the plane, but they were in free fall long enough to catch up with the rest of you. You see them hanging from their chutes, and they signal to you, giving you the thumbs up sign. 2 assistant jump masters are on the ground with battery-powered bullhorns. They are giving directions and encouragement. Watch the wind! Hey you! More to the right! Good job all of you! You're doing just fine! He watches the first 2 jumpers touch ground. The first one does it textbook style, stepping down, his chute emptied of air. The second is not as fortunate. He hits the ground hard and tumbles, being dragged a few yards before his chute spills its air. Turn to page 109. On Team Analog chutes. Yeah, the old parachutes were better. I don't care what they say. So they were free falling. I'm free falling. Alright. Wait, why are those chutes round then? Now it's your turn. The ground is coming up awfully fast. Instinctively, you adjust the risers the way you have practiced. With a moderate jolt, you are on the ground and standing. The others follow. Almost evenly they are divided between those who take a tumble and those who don't. No one is hurt. You watch as Porky and Brogliard land. You are feeling so excited with your accomplishment that you want to climb right back into the jump plane and do it again. Well done, all of you, Brogliard says as he goes from person to person, shaking hands and slapping backs. Congratulations, you're all jumpers now. The rest of the day is spent in small groups, discussing the jump and watching videotapes for a review. You have other jumps scheduled in the next days, 2 from the same altitude, and more from a lower altitude, stressing the control of the chute and picking your landing spot. I assume that's us landing. I like the other people in the background that are just like not landing so well. Yeah, the artist like clearly didn't read the book. He's like, oh, the parachute's okay. Yeah, we do need to calm down. I think we're getting a little anxious about it. I gotta get right back into that plane. Let's do it again. 67.
You find that it is difficult to concentrate fully on what Porky and the instructor are saying. You know that you should be paying attention, but the excitement of the day obscures their words. Your mind drifts back to the incredible feeling of being in the air, being a part of it, moving slowly towards Earth, and being able to control your path as if you were flying. The instructor is talking about the dangers of dropping into a fire zone. He mentions the rising air currents, called thermals, and explains how difficult they are to judge. In the midst of this talk, Broliard strides into the room. "I need 2 volunteers," he announces, in a measured but excited tone. All attention is focused on him instantly. Even Porky and the instructor are waiting on his next words. "We've got a problem," Broliard says. "About 60 miles northwest of here, there are a couple of small fires, nothing big. Local groups should have them under control soon. But you can't bet on that. We've got to check the situation out. As you know, our other regulars are on that big burn up on Bear Creek. I need 2 volunteers to come with me. Any takers?" Turn to page 84. Yeah, we can't pay attention. We have ADD. Maybe all smoke jumpers have ADD. That's why they become smoke jumpers. Everyone's hand shoots up. Broliard surveys the group, pleased with the response. "There is a downside to this mission," he continues. "Whoever goes will miss 2 or 3 days of jump training. We'll do our best, but you'll be missing time. And all of you know the rules. To qualify, you have to complete all the jumps. Unfortunately, this will delay your certification as a smoke jumper until we can reschedule the jumps you missed. Any takers still?" The opportunity is certainly an exciting one, but you're not sure if you want to delay your certification. After all, that's what you've been working for. The more you think about it, however, the more you realize that the bottom line in your decision to train is to put out fires and save lives. This is your chance. Rescheduling the jumps wouldn't be the worst thing that could happen to you. The experience that you could gain from going on this fire could only be valuable and would certainly look good on your record. Whatever your decision, you'll have to make it now. Everyone's hands shoot up, am I right? Yes. Yeah, maybe you should be a smoke jumper. That's a good idea. If you decide to volunteer and go with Broliard, turn to page 12. If you decide to stay with the jump class, turn to page 17. Alright. So you want to go with Broliard? Let's go. Go. Valerie also says skip the jump training. Alright, I guess we're going with Broliard. Page 12. I volunteer as tribute. I mean smoke jumper. Oh, hi Sue. Go. So we're going. We're going. Doing it. "I'll go, Chief," you say, somewhat surprised by your own conviction. "Me too," Bill shouts, standing up. The others seem relieved that there are enough volunteers. They remain silent, turning their attention back to the instructor and the problems of landing in a burn zone. "Okay, follow me. And thanks. I appreciate what you've given up. I'll do my best to make it up to you." Moments later, the 3 of you are bouncing along a dirt road in this 4x4, headed to a helipad where the 2 Alouette helicopters are parked. This is the first time you've ever been inside one of these French jet helicopters, well known for their ability to perform at high altitudes in the Alps of Europe. Quickly you load your gear into the far one. With Broliard at the controls, you lift off the pad, and like a dragonfly, swerve into the air and head for the site of the first fire. You feel like a veteran now. You feel like a veteran now that you have had your first successful jump, but you caution yourself against getting too cocky. Jumping is dangerous. Just like riding a motorcycle or climbing mountains, you are risking your life. You must take nothing for granted. Be prepared and concentrate, you remind yourself,
among the noise of the rotors. Burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno. Yeah, just go right into the fire. Go straight into it. Yeah, we should get some credit for, like, just volunteering. How come we don't get any credit for that? The scenery below speeds past you. 35 minutes later, you circle a patch of smoke. Brolyard points to it, nods his head, and searches for a landing area. He spots one, a break in the trees cut just for this purpose. Over by two men signaling with a yellow ground sheet. Swiftly, the Alouette heads down. When the rotors come to rest, the three of you climb out, greeted by the smell of freshly cut pine and wood smoke. The two smells bring back memories of camping trips with your dad when you were younger. He always took you and your sister up into northern Canada to canoe and fish for 2 weeks every summer, from age 7 until you were 14. That last summer was the best. You caught a salmon that was record size, at least in your family, and the memory and pain of your parents' divorce seemed to have faded. It felt really good being out in the woods and lakes, and you had a lot of fun. That's what families are all about, you've always thought. Enjoying each other's company, sticking together, and no fighting. That was one of your dad's rules. Arguments were okay, he would always say, but fighting was out. He wouldn't tolerate it. Not quite 2 months after that trip, your dad was killed. You are flooded with emotion, and the tears begin to well up. You try to blot out the memory of those days and get a hold of yourself, focusing on the mission that lies ahead of you. Gotta focus on the mission. Now that's supposed to be like a special French jet helicopter that can reach high altitudes. I don't know about that. All right, I think another case where the artist and the writer were not talking to each other. Funny, we're thinking about divorce. Well, we're going to our own deaths now. Oh, Josie's dreaming and her muscles twitching. Oh, having some dreams. Okay. Is there a helicopter choose your own adventure book? I wonder. You're going to learn how to fly a helicopter now. You've played plenty of flight simulators, so you think you're ready for the real thing. Yeah, he died. That was pretty sudden. They got divorced and then he died. The end. Hey, you okay? Brolyard asks, coming up to you with a quizzical look. There is something about him that reminds you of your dad. It's not a physical resemblance. It's more his way with people and his instinctive understanding of those your age. He's someone you can trust, you feel. Yeah, I'm fine, you say. Smoke got to me for a moment. I guess I'm still a little excited from the jump. Well, come on over. I want to introduce you to these guys, Brolyard says. Bill, you notice, has already walked over and introduced himself to the two rangers. Before you can get a chance to shake hands with the two men, you are interrupted by the sound of the walkie-talkie hanging from the limb of a pine in the clearing. Ranger 3! Ranger 3! Mayday! Need a medevac! Upriver! Do you read? Loud and clear. Standing by, Ranger 3 replies. One man down. Looks like smoke inhalation. We need Brolyard in his copter. Our other one's out. Brolyard nods assent. He's on his way. He'll meet you at base camp over by Rocky Ridge. Negative. Further upstream. Tell him to be careful. It's going to be tight getting in. We need help fast. Vital signs are weak. Oh no. That's why they say ride or die. It's the end for him, but just the beginning for her. Yep. The beginning of her new life and the end of his old one and just his life in general. All right, page 79. Breaker, breaker. Our landing gear is down. Before the message is completed, Brolyard is already at the helicopter. Moments later, he is airborne and away.
You stare at the quickly receding copter, wondering what is next. But you don't have to wonder for long. The ranger finishes up with his message on the radio and turns towards you and Bill. "Name's Haven," he says to you, introducing himself. "I've got to send a patrol out along that rim over there," he continues, pointing to the distant horizon and getting down to business. "We've had a report. There might be some campers over there. If this fire spreads, it could be bad. You also need help with the fire we've got going on right here. It's almost under control, but our men need a break. We could use some new blood." You've gone from first jump to firefighting and patrols all in the same day. Your dad always prepared you to accept change and to be flexible in developing situations. But you think you might be stepping in over your head here. You're not scared. It's just that things are moving fast. Almost too fast. What will you do? If you decide to go on patrol, turn to page 28. If you decide to help the Rangers with the fire, turn to page 38. They want us to donate blood. We need some new blood. Hold on. I'm going to stick a needle in your arm and start drawing your blood. Your hemoglobin's too low. I'm sorry. Start taking some iron supplements and come back in another month. Rolling, 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 though the streams are swollen, keep them doggies rolling, row. Fire. So Beth says you go on patrol. Valerie says help the Rangers with the fire. And Rachel, I don't know if that rolling, was that mean go on patrol? Because they're rolling? Oh, fire, okay. I was helping with the so Rachel says fire, Valerie says fire. Beth's also, I meant fire, okay. Help the Rangers with the fire. We on fire. Up in here, it's burning hot. We on fire. We on fire. All right. Page 38. Deciding to fight the fire, you surprise Bill by the way you speak right up. He just sort of shrugs his shoulders. You hope you didn't hurt his feelings, but one thing your father always stressed was to speak your mind and stand up for what you thought and what you believe in. Don't be afraid, and don't do things just because you think that's what other people want. Do what you think is right. You can hear his voice as though he were still alive, and it brings you both comfort and sadness. Haven radios to the firefighting team. "This is Haven. Send Pete to patrol the ridge for pilgrims. I'm going to the fire with 2 of the new trainees. Over." "Sure thing, Chief. 10-4. Turn to page 83. What are pilgrims? Oh, they're actually like pilgrims from the Mayflower? We've gone back in time. I can't believe it. All right. What are pilgrims? You ask Haven. Haven laughs. "Oh, just a nickname we have for tourists. Nothing bad, really. Except that they're so earnest, seeing this country for the first time. Anyway, let's head out. Time's a-wastin'." The last sentence about time catches you by surprise. It's one of your father's expressions, and it stops you in your tracks to hear it come from someone else. You pile into the beat-up Chevy Blazer with Bill and Haven. The ride to the burn area is bumpy, and Haven drives fast. Holding on to the stanchions of the roll bar is all you can do to keep from falling out. This almost youthful aggressiveness behind the wheel is a dimension of Haven's personality you didn't expect. He otherwise seems so deliberate and measured. It's everyone's dad's expression. Like they all say, time's a-wastin'. We have to stop the pilgrims, yes. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I don't know if that's gonna happen in this book. Maybe we'll have a fever of 100 degrees because we're hot-blooded.
Hot-blooded. Come on, baby, come on down. I'm hot-blooded. I'm hot-blooded. All right. 102. 40 minutes later, you roll into a makeshift staging area where several other vehicles are parked. The smell of smoke is particularly heavy here, and the wind is picked up, sweeping down the narrow valley towards the fire. Okay, Haven says. You got safety gear, helmets, goggles, fire retardant jacket? Let me see your boots. Haven checks them, making sure they are the kind with special insulation used for jumping and fires, which they are. Here, you'll need these, he says, tossing shovels at you and Bill. The three of you also take your packs, canteens, and a limited amount of food. One radio is handed out, and Bill takes it. Remember, the two of you, don't get split up. Stay in contact with the main group at all times. Fire can be really tricky. Just be careful. As you hit the trail, you realize it's not really a trail, but a contour that snakes around rock outcroppings, drops down to the river, crosses it, and heads up the other side. It is steep, and your footing is unsure. Haven pushes ahead, and you and Bill do your best to try and keep up. Say yes, say yes to the stress. Smoke. Everywhere there is smoke. 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 Right. Once on the ridge, you stop for a moment to rest and get your bearings. Hey, what's that? Bill asks, pointing to the far ridge at what appears to be a figure. Looks like a person, but what's he doing? You reply. He seems to be signaling. Maybe he needs help. The figure is waving a shirt and moving back and forth within a 10 or 12-foot space. You try to shout, but it is too far, and the noise of the stream blocks your voice from traveling. You figure that hiking to the ridge would take you about 50 minutes or so out of your way. What do you think, Bill? Should we investigate? Well, it's not that far, but maybe we should turn this one over to Haven. You look around, but Haven is out of your line of sight. You could try and catch up with him, but maybe you can take the situation into your own hands and see what the man wants. If you decide to help the man, turn to page 107. If you catch up with Haven, turn to page 101. Quit misbehaving, Haven. You see a safe haven or a dangerous haven? So there's that guy signaling for us to come over. So Rachel says we should help the man. What does every man want? A delicious dinner every day. Hot supper when they get home. Oh yeah, should call. No, they can't because Haven has the one walkie-talkie. How is it that we only have one walkie-talkie? I don't get that. That's like they only have one pair of special boots, and like they have to take turns wearing them. It helped because our good deeds never go unpunished. Okay. Just one thing, and it's shameful. What do you mean, Rob? What's the one thing? Or Sue also says we should help. I guess we're helping him. Page 107. 107. Gotta help this guy. Let's investigate this guy. It's not far, and it looks like he needs help. The fire's not coming from over there. We'll be safe, you say to Bill, aware that he is hesitant. You, however, are anxious to get going. Time could be very important. Bill shakes his head. I don't know. He even said not to get separated. Yeah, but he meant you and me. Besides, he went ahead and left us. Hey, it is not like we're in the fire zone. Come, let's go. I'm staying. You go, Bill says. You remember how stubborn he can get, almost defiant. Fine, you decide. I won't be long. Tell Haven where I am. I'll catch up with you later. For a moment, you hesitate, wondering whether or not you are doing the right thing
or whether you're being foolish. What the heck, you say. It doesn't take long to get to the other side of the river, although the water is a little rough. Even though it's low because of the almost drought conditions, the current is fast, and the rocks are slippery. You make it, and soon you are scrambling up the other side. Within 40 minutes you reach the spot where you saw the figure, only to find nobody there. Oh yeah, maybe it is Sasquatch. Hey! Yo! Hey, where are you? You shout, only to get a faint echo in return. You are alone, you realize, and whoever it was is now gone. For the next 20 minutes, you search the area without success, feeling increasingly angry and a little foolish. What the heck? Right, Rob? What the heck? 42. Looking at your watch, you decide it's time for you to head back. This is what they call a real wild goose chase, you say out loud, your anger mounting, along with the dreadful self-criticism that goes with it. I guess Bill was right after all. It takes you longer to get back than it did going up, but eventually you catch up with Haven, Bill, and the others. Haven takes you aside, and you fear the worst, expecting a lecture at the very least. Hey, look, I appreciate what you did, Haven says. You took a risk, and I would have done the same thing. But you gotta watch out, though. The old coyote will get you if you don't. I sure would like to catch that joker. Whoever he is, he's in for trouble when we find him. Uh-oh, that guy's in trouble. That old coyote. Maybe he's the coyote. Like the coyote spirit from another book. You nod in agreement. Haven's mention of the old coyote makes you stop and think for a moment. You remember reading that the Indians believed that the old coyote was a powerful spirit, responsible for all sorts of mischief. He is both a trickster and a teacher, and the Indians saw him as a reflection of themselves. They were entertained and educated by stories of the old coyote, passing them down from generation to generation. What, the Indians as a reflection of themselves, so they also see themselves as tricksters and teachers? I don't understand. Now here we go, we found the racism. Just what did Haven mean by mentioning the old coyote, you wonder? Maybe he was trying to tell you that you must see things with different eyes and prepare for the unexpected, while still remaining true to your purpose, you decide. All that behind you, however, it's time for you to move on once again. There's still a fire for you to get under control. The end. What kind of fire do we need to get under control? Oh, that fire, right. I wonder what would happen if we didn't try to help that man. What page was that? If we're just like, whatevs. Oh, I just need to find the picture that has like a guy waving to us. Where is that? No, that's not it. Where is it? Huh. Is that it? No, that's not it. Oh, there he is. There's the guy. The fire of our burning loins. The fire in our pants. Still need to fight that fire. Alright, let's catch up with Haven then and see what happens. Maybe we can fight some fires finally. Alright. Let's see what Haven says, you say to Bill. You stay here. Keep that guy in sight. I'll go up to the trail and get Haven, okay? Sure, boss, Bill says, throwing you a smart salute. Hey, I'm just making a suggestion. Well, your suggestion, as you call it, sounds especially like a command to me. Nature abhors a vacuum, and you just love to fill those vacuums. What? Okay. Hey, ease up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be bossy. Well, You are sometimes, Bill says, lowering his voice a notch. You can tell that the fight is over. You feel bad that you hurt his feelings. Still, you are just about to counter with the criticism that he occasionally acts and talks like a preppy snob. But reason takes over, and you say nothing. One thing has nothing to do with the other. So, why don't we flip for it, you suggest, taking a coin from your pocket. Great, I'll take heads. You flip the coin, watching as it spins in the air, the sun catching it for just a split second and reflecting off the silver. It hits the ground with a thunk. Heads! You got it, you say. Great. You go after Haven, and I'll stay, he says. Hey, wait a minute. I thought... Well, I don't. I was going to stay anyway. I just don't like being bossed around and told what to do. Go. Now we're being bossed. Not a preppy. No. He is. He's a preppy snob. Thinks he's so fancy. Putting on airs. Alright. Bill is going to murder you on the next page. Probably. The metaphor for preteens on the edge of puberty. Got a fire. I gotta get this fire under control. Page 39. Not 15 minutes up the trail, you get into a zone of heavy smoke. Eyes stinging, nostrils clogging. You cough and hack, wondering how you'll be able to keep moving further on. You didn't expect it to be this bad. For a few moments you consider turning back, but then, from out of the smoke comes Haven. Hey, where were you guys? I turned around and you were gone. Come, we need help. This fire is nastier than we thought. Yeah, but... No time for buts. Let's move it. Where's Bill? He's back about a quarter mile. We saw... Haven cuts you off again. We'll get him. Haven, will you listen for a minute? Your voice is firm, and you finally get his attention. Okay, what is it? Like I was trying to say, we saw a man back on the opposite ridge. He was waving a shirt or something. We think he needs help. Well, why didn't you tell me? I've been trying to, Haven. I've been trying. You are beginning to lose patience with this man. Officials can be so official, you think. So, what should we do? Make tracks. What else? Check it out. You and Bill see what you can do. With that, he melts back into the smoke, as though you were an apparition. You don't like this at all. Haven was less than helpful. Maybe he's the old coyote. That's how he was able to melt back into the smoke. Bill is this book's Alex P. Keaton. Bill with his eyes-eyed collar pop. He's doing this just to impress his family, mingle with the normal people. He is on speed, maybe. He's on speed, just like our dad. That's how he died. Too much speed. Page 1. Oh. He was?
Yeah,
Was there like a very special episode when he was on speed?
yes.
Not surprising. That's probably had like a talk with him. Alex, we need to talk about your speed habit. Bill's uncle is a drunk Tom Hanks. Alright, 103. Okay, so we're on our own. Thanks a lot, Haven, you say, but there's nothing but smoke. Then you head back down to Bill. When you reach him, he is sitting down, a handkerchief soaked in water covering his nostrils. You follow suit, soaking your bandana to get some relief from the acrid smoke. The smoke begins to fill the narrow river valley. You can see across to the ridge, but there is no longer any sign of the figure. Where'd he go? Beats me, Bill replies. Now what? Haven said to check it out, but what do we check out? That guy can see the fire as well as we can. It's spreading. I say we call Haven and report a negative on the sighting. You key the transmit button and call Haven. Wait, we suddenly have a walkie-talkie? Like, why wouldn't you use that before? All right. You key the transmit button and call Haven. It takes a while to reach him, and when you do, you don't have a chance to explain. Get out, he replies. Repeat, get out now. This thing is out of control. By now, you are starting to feel the heat, and you can see flames along with the smoke. What about the others? Is there anything left out here? Bill asks. I don't know, Bill, you say. But I'll tell you one thing. We're in trouble. Look.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see that episode where Alex had a drug problem. Page 50. Oh no, we're in trouble.
Pointing back down the trail, you see the flames coming from another fire. You are getting boxed in. Let's head for the river, you say. Fear grips you for a moment, but then your survival instincts kick in, and you and Bill jump, run, stumble, and slide down the slope, heading towards the river. Small trees and brush block your way, but you manage to push past them. Twice you stumble over rocks and twigs, landing with a bone-rattling jolt on the slanted earth. Each time, you pick yourself up, managing to push onward, running for your life. Page 112. Drop me in the water. Take me to the river. It's water flowing underground. Letting the days go by. Once in a lifetime. Page 112. Uh-oh. With a plunge, you and Bill finally reach the river. The water is shallow, but you're not hurt, and you manage to swim along until you find a fairly deep pool. What do you think? Bill asks. The smoke settles above you, and hot air rushes down the river. You need to duck under the water every so often to keep yourselves cool. We'll make it through. Don't worry. Let's just stay calm. This thing should be beyond us soon enough. Just then, you hear Haven. You turn to see him and 6 or 7 of his men sloshing down the riverbed. High above you, standing on the ridge, you think you see the figure of the man you spotted earlier. He seems to be jumping up and down, dancing, and you think you hear him laughing. You know that this man has something to do with the fire. If only you could reach him and find out for sure. The fire, meanwhile, roars on, making its way down the valley. For now, you are safe. El Coyote is the fire god. This is going to be like the ant spiders. I thought it was going to be like that, yeah. The end. Oh, we didn't get engulfed in flames yet. We'll try one more time to see if we can get ourselves killed. So we still want to go with Broliard, right? And do the jump. We didn't even get to hang out with Broliard. He just left us behind. And we went to 13. Right, and then 79. Oh yeah, so we can go on patrol or help the Rangers with the fire. So, I mean, we could, I guess, go on patrol instead of help them with the fire. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Try that. Give it one more shot. We're going to go on patrol and not help with the fire. You decide to go on patrol and warn the campers who might be up on the rim. Haven briefs you on the area, providing you with a topographic map. He circles an area of about 4 miles where the group of campers are reported to have been seen. He also gives you a radio, but he cautions you. The range on this thing is limited. It's only an old model, and the batteries are weak. You can't really rely on it. Stay out of trouble. Have you got rations? Well, not really. I have enough for today, I guess. A sandwich, a candy bar, a couple of oranges. What about a canteen? Have you got a parka or a poncho? He asks. You shake your head. Here, take this. It's the only one I have. Heaven hands you a windbreaker. His name's Heaven now, all right. Who knew heaven was a place on earth? They say in heaven, love comes first. Yeah, heaven hands you a windbreaker. It's forest green, a color that blends in too well with your surroundings. If you were in trouble out in the woods or the mountains, you might never be spotted. Your dad always believed in using bright colors in the outdoors. He said it was an extra margin of safety, and you never knew when it would be needed. You do not approve of the color of this sweater, but given the circumstances, it will have to do. You can use this canteen. Remember, sunset is close to 8 o'clock. It's almost 1 right now. Try to get back before dark, okay? We'll meet you here, Haven instructs. No problem, you reply, anxious to get on your way. You can't believe the time. It seems like a week has passed since you got up this morning. Looking around, you realize Bill has already left with the other ranger to help with the fire. Is there a decision to give him a Father's Day card? Yes, the proofreader was fired after this Haven error happened. Like, get out of here! You're fired. Page 88. Oh, almost forgot. You got a flashlight? Haven asks. As anxious as he is to be on his way, you could sense that he is a careful man. Sure thing. It's small, but good, you reply, patting your side. It's the one you got from your dad for your 13th birthday. Good luck. Stay calm. Radio me if you need to. Remember, don't take any risks. And if you see any sign of fire, beat it. Get yourself right back here, okay? You can be sure of it, you reply. Haven flashes you a half grin, then heads off for the fire. You hold yourself back for several minutes, trying to clear your mind of all the events that have been jumbling together in the recent hours. Taking a deep breath, you try to reach down within yourself and come up with a sense of calm and well-being. You imagine a still forest pond. It's a trick your dad taught you. You think of the pond, its calmness, its depth, and its beauty. Focusing, you see almost no ripples. You hear no sound. Your heart steadies its beat and slows down. Your mind clears, and your thoughts are focused. Now you are ready. Small but good, like the cats. They're small, but they're good. Page 33. Above you, the afternoon clouds have moved into their usual position. The promise of rain is only that, a promise. The wind picks up a bit. That could mean trouble for the fire. The wind not only feeds it, but carries it along. You'll have to keep the direction of the wind in mind as you patrol. The route on the topo map is pretty straightforward. You follow a stream for almost a mile, finding the trail easily. The trees are old and well spaced. There isn't too much underbrush. As you walk, you find it is quite pleasant to be on your own, away from the excitement of the jump school and the noise of the others, and you relax as your breathing settles down into its natural rhythm. A mile or so later, the stream hooks left, and you start to head uphill. Here we are going uphill. Going uphill. Page 58. Within 2 hours, you reach the ridge on the topo map that Haven circled in red marker. The wind has picked up here, and you put on your windbreaker. Time for lunch, you announce to yourself out loud. Mind if I join you? Comes a strange voice startling you. A rugged man, in his mid-30s, steps out from behind an outcropping of rock. He stands perfectly still, neither hostile nor particularly friendly. Here in the wilderness, people, more than likely, are loners, thirsting for some company. Not at all. It's an awkward moment. but the stranger smiles and holds out his hand. Milt Lombard from L.A. Glad to see you. He walks over to the large rock in front of you and sits down. Say, I've got a little problem. Maybe you can help me. I'll try, you reply, suddenly sensing that something is wrong. Remaining alert, you manage to calm yourself, riding off the uneasiness to all of the excitement of the day. I'm supposed to meet a friend up in the canyon, Milt says. I'm a day late, and unfortunately, I've got to start heading back. Business, you know. I hate it, but it pays the bills. He smiles as he peels one of the oranges you've handed him. A wedge of cheddar cheese sits on a square of greasy paper, his contribution to lunch. Page 21. Yeah, it does sound like a big scam. Time to get... I love trouble. Time to get murdered, yep. I've got a little bit of a problem. Maybe you can help me. Oh, Rob, and I gotta mention, Rob. Did you do that post about meat women, right? Like me. And then you said it was high stakes. I was reading that during lunch and like laughed out loud. That was pretty funny. It's high stakes dating. Was it right? Yeah. Right. Okay. Meat women. I mean, they are made of meat. Yeah, meat women online. I mean, technically they are meat, right? Yeah, it's kind of a rare to medium rare thing that you would see that kind of spelling error. You want to leave a note with me in case I run into him, you query? You query? Well, I was hoping you wouldn't mind helping me out by going into the canyon to find him for me, Milt says. I'm afraid he'll get really worried if I don't show up. And I've got to leave here this afternoon. What do you say? Will you do it? The sun is warm, and the fatigue of the day settles into your bones. Another decision is the last thing you want to make right now. As you sit, you realize you have to go up into that canyon anyway. Maybe he is one of the people reported to be wandering around up there. But if he isn't, can you really spend your time looking for him while you are on an assignment? If you agree to look for Milt's friend, turn to page 76. If you decide that he is asking too much, turn to page 45. Oh, meet women nearby. Oh no. So do we want to look for Milt's friend? Assuming he actually has any friends. Maybe he's making that up. He doesn't have friends. Look for his friend? Valerie says look for his friend. Anyone else think we should look for his friend? Or should we just say, he's asking us for too much. Can't do it. Yeah, I was thinking that too, like, another decision is the last thing you want to make right now. I hate making decisions. That's why I'm reading a Choose Your Own Adventure. That says look for friend. Alright. Yeah, I think we'll look for his friend. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, I suppose I can look for your friend. I have to go up to that canyon anyway. Tell me more, you say. Reaching into his pack, Milt withdraws a compass, binoculars, and a topo map similar to the one Haven gave you. He is all business now, and you watch him carefully, noting every facial expression and hand movement. Observation is very important. Sometimes, the smallest detail can yield a great deal of information. You notice an intensity in this man that fascinates you. He is far from being relaxed. He is a man on a mission. My friend's name is Tim Martinez. Doesn't know his way around the woods. We left 5 days ago. He's probably frantic by now. What's he doing in the woods then, you ask? Trying to prove something, I guess. He read some article on survival. Gets this idea in his head. The next thing I know, we're heading off for these here woods. He decides to go solo for 5 days, saying we'll meet at this spot, which picks out on the map. Has he got supplies in a sleeping bag? Yes to the bag, but he's probably running low on supplies by now. Here, let's look at your map, you say. Page 19. Seeing a friend for the end of the world. Oh, seeking a friend for the end of the world. Yeah, ready to get scammed. We're to get robbed of all our money and killed. There we go. The topo is spread out on the rocky ground, and Milt points to a route marked in yellow that leads through the forest, coming from a road over by an abandoned ranch. It is within the same territory as the fires that Broliard flew to for the med evac. The pale yellow dot snakes along it until it almost reaches the spot where you now sit. I'd say he's stumbling around in the brush about here, Milt says, pointing to a region that Broliard said posed potential danger if the fire got out of hand. Tim's a bit spooky. He's a city boy, always prepared for trouble, you know. Oh, by the way, he's armed. Carries a magnum. It's a silly little thing. I don't like guns much myself, but we're all different, right? Your instinct tells you that there's more here than meets the eye. Play it cool, you advise yourself. Play it cool. Play it real cool. What do you do back in Los Angeles, Milt, you ask, trying to sound innocent. Milt busies himself, cutting the cheese with a hunting knife, then hands you a hunk on the blade. Oh, I'm a dabbler, you might say. A little of this, a little of that. Real estate, mostly. That's the racket to be in these days. There he is. There's Milt. Seems okay. Cutting the cheese. Letting the air out of the parachute, in other words. Gotta let some air out of the old parachute. Robots in disguise. Carries a magnum in a kid's book. Everybody's different. Some people carry a magnum and some people don't. You know, that's just the way of the world. Going to page 78. Oh wait. I went to 76, which would take us back in a big loop. Yeah, well, real estate sounds fine and all that, but I'm an environmentalist myself, you tell Milt, trying to assert yourself a little. Oh, I see. Monkey wrench gang kind of person, eh? You don't care for developers, is that it? I guess you'd rather save some tree than create jobs and make money. You don't like the run of this conversation. His tone is enough to tell you this man is no environmentalist, and that he doesn't take you very seriously. And yet, you know you shouldn't judge too quickly. First impressions are more often pretty accurate, but you've been wrong lots of times too. Take Bill, for example. When you first met him, you thought he was a snotty, upper-class Eastern preppy. You wouldn't even give him the time of day. Now he's your best friend here in Idaho, someone you'll probably know for a long time. You decide to respect your instincts about Milt, be wary, but give him a chance. Some developers are all right, you say. We need more housing and jobs. I've no objection to those things if they're done right. Well, who gets to decide what's right? You? Milt looks at you questioningly, with a glint in his eye. He's toying with you, you can tell, and you want to end the conversation before it gets out of hand. Not only that, it's getting late, and you don't want to be up in the mountains after sunset. It's not that you're afraid, you're not. It's just that you still have to finish your patrol, and then hook up with Haven and Bill. I guess we have to hook up with them later when it gets dark. And turn to page 16. What is happening right now? I don't know. We took a weird detour here. Yeah, it is kind of skunky outside. I don't know why. It smells kind of skunky right now. Milt, I'd love to go on with this conversation, you'd say, but it's getting late. I better be on my way if I'm going to find your friend. Milt gets up too. Got a point there, kid. Time's a-wastin'. He wraps the remaining cheese in the paper and hands it to you after you pick up the orange rinds and put them in your pack. You take this. It's kind of my way of saying thanks for going after Tim. Thanks. Well, take care, you say, moving on. You're not sure why, but for some reason, you feel nervous about this man. As soon as you are out of sight, you stop, look around, and check to see if Milt has followed you. He doesn't seem to have. I'm just a little spooked, you say to yourself out loud. I'm sure he's just a regular guy. A little strange, perhaps, but come to think of it, maybe I should radio in to report to Haven. It would be good to let someone know, in case I get into trouble. You're about to make the call when you stop yourself. Perhaps you're being a little too hasty. Perhaps you should just continue with your patrol and look for Milt's friend, and not get yourself all worked up for nothing. Yeah, he's probably on drugs. Yeah, and the scam is to have just annoying conversations. Yeah, he's not a regular guy. So if you decide to radio Haven and report your meeting with Milt, turn to page 94. If you decide not to radio a message and continue on your way, turn to page 106. Excuse me, just got a little bit of water. Ignore all our alarm bells. Just continue, don't radio in. You're just going to continue. He's fine. He's good people. He's definitely not weird in any way. 106. You hesitate for a few moments, deciding not to make the call. You don't want to be an alarmist. I'll go it on my own, you say to yourself. There's no problem. You get down to business. The spot where Milt's friend might be is indicated on the map. You'll have to go over the ridge, down a scree slope, and across a stream before you end up in the canyon area. If you move fast, you'll be able to make it in an hour or so, leaving just enough time for you to retreat by sunset. If you stop right now, you know that fatigue will set in to get the better of you. The sun overhead is warm, your stomach is moderately full, and once again, there is an air of excitement about your work. It is possible that the fire could spread, and this man, Tim Martinez, could be trapped. And so could you, for that matter. Time is truly of the essence, and you urge yourself on. The feeling that someone is following you eventually leaves you, and you feel relieved, with a renewed sense of confidence. It's a little tricky as you go along, making your way along the scree, loose rock, thick brush, and wind. You notice that the wind has picked up a little. You wonder exactly how far away that fire was that Bill and the other rangers went off to fight. On the topo, it didn't look too far, maybe 2 ridges over, a little too close for comfort. Hopefully, the wind won't feed the fire further to your direction. Alright, page 48. 30 minutes later, you are standing on a rock, overlooking a shallow canyon. Scanning it carefully, you look for any signs of movement or color, any shape that could denote a human being. You find nothing. Your digital wristwatch reads 4:52. Where did the time fly to, you ask yourself? It's like time keeps on slipping into the future. A sense of panic begins to creep up on you. You try to push it aside, realizing now is not the time to lose control. Besides, everything is okay. You still have some time. Then you see it. Just a movement, nothing more. It's a small movement attached to something bright purple. It appears to be the nylon fabric of a hiking boot, and it protrudes a few inches beyond a jumble of rocks. You work your way over, and a few minutes later you reach the rocks. Holy moly, you shout, surprised to find the body of a short man dressed in high-tech outdoor clothes. He's lying on his back, a dry rivulet of blood covering the side of his face and matting his hair. His eyes are closed, but he is breathing, although it's shallow and rapid. Once again, he jerks his legs, his eyelids fluttering ever so lightly. Then they open. Well, that's not good. Yikes. Turn to page 110. At least it's still alive. Who are you? Where am I? The man asks. It's okay. You'll be fine. Just take it easy, you say, kneeling down next to him. You check his pulse and examine his pupils for signs of a concussion. Can you count backwards from 10, you ask? A useful test to see if there is any injury to the brain. The man responds, counting off slowly but easily. What happened to you, you ask, anticipating his answer and fearing the worst. There was this crazy man. He was really weird. Met him 2 days ago. Automatically, you look around the area, scanning for any signs of Milt. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you see nothing. Was he from L.A.? Was his name Milt, you ask? Yeah, that's the guy. He was a real nutcase. He raved about all kinds of crazy stuff. Politics, the homeless, the rich, environmentalists. I couldn't tell where he was coming from. And you never saw him before? You met him here, you ask? Never saw him before. Never want to see him again. By the way, my name's Tim Martinez, you say, finishing his sentence. Hey, how did you know that? Wait a minute. You're not a friend of that guy's, are you? Suddenly there was a mixture of fear and wariness on his face. No, don't worry. I ran into him on the ridge about 2 hours ago. It was really weird. He told me about you. Said you were buddies from L.A. Sent me here to try and find you. I guess they're not buddies from L.A. That's what we've deduced from this. Page 30. Well, he's no buddy of mine. This is the proof, Tim says, rubbing the lump on his skull. Tell me what happened exactly, you ask, washing the blood from his face with a bandana moistened from your canteen. He hit me on the ground with a rock and stole my gun. I was groggy, but not quite out. His last words were something like, "This should teach you never to play with firearms." Pretty weird, huh? Tim is now sitting up. He looks better, colors returning to his face. Suddenly, you smell smoke and hear the rush and crackle of fire. Above the noise, you hear a voice, distant but clear. Too bad, suckers. It's the end of the rainbow for you both. You stare in the direction of the voice coming from behind a ridge. The wind fans the flames, and the heat rises and surges, surrounding you. Desperately, you key the radio and call, Mayday! Mayday! But all you get in return is static. The end. All right. Rachel posted a rainbow emoji. It's the end of the rainbow for you suckers. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. You just found it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and now you're dead, or something. That means that means we found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's what it is. Oh, well, that's a good ending to stop on. But yeah, I think we'll stop here. Had to get at least one ending where we either meet our meet our demise, or note that our demise is imminent. So, yeah. Good stuff. I could have sworn, well, there was something here where someone got tied up. Just to see some of the other things. There was something here where the plane crashed. Okay. That would have been cool. That would have been fun. Something where we're thrown out of an airplane without a parachute.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Just all the interesting ways that we could have gotten killed. Well, that's good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot to this one. A lot of different stories. Well, at least we got to meet Milt. That was cool. Oh, here's another picture of Milt. That guy does look kind of crazy. Look at his hair. That's how you know he's crazy. He's wearing a weird shirt, and his hair is all crazy. All right. All right, well, I guess I'll stop here. Sorry I wasn't able to read last week, but it looks like everyone can actually participate now. So maybe, I bet maybe Facebook did some kind of update, and like the update wasn't working quite right. So now they've figured everything out. Hopefully. You're welcome, Sue. Good night. Yeah, and I guess I'll take off now, and I hope you all have a good night and enjoyed this. And you're welcome, Rachel. Yeah, and I'll see you all in a week. And you know what? I think next week we'll read Alien Go Home. That's where an alien lands, and we tell them to go home, something like that. So that should be fun. All right. Well, yeah. So hope you all have a good week, and I will see you all later. Take care.